Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's a bold one here, and today we're going to be talking about the epic confrontation event for General Skywalker. If you guys haven't heard, that General Skywalker has been confirmed. There's a pretty cool video that GC did. Go check it out. Um, and so he's going to be here. Unlike the Malik event, though, there's some way different things that are going to be about this event, and I know that I'm a day or two late to this, but I kind of watched everybody. Kind of just wanted to talk about some things. I'm not going to be trying to repeat all that much. Um, what other people are saying more is just kind of some things. Uh, I'm going to be throwing out some thoughts, tips, and considerations. That way you can ultimately think about the event and get ready for the event. So we'll go ahead and get into it. Alright, guys, so here is kind of the post by GC Crow. Um, so starting October 11th, so about 3 days from now, relive the Clone Wars and earn shards of General Skywalker in the all-new epic confrontation Clash on Kamino. Take to the skies and battle the Separatist fleet as they attempt to distract General Skywalker from the invasion of Kamino. Once the space battle has concluded, head to Topoka City to assist General Kenobi in his fight against General Grievous and the droid army. Then, join General Skywalker in taking on a familiar foe before allying yourself with the Separatists and dealing with one last obstacle to the mission, General Skywalker and his 501st clones. So, obviously I have to be level 85. This is a very in-game character, in-game event. So, real quick, gonna go over the tiers. Anakin's Starfighter, any Galactic Republic capital ship, keep this in mind. We're gonna come back to this, and at least 3 other Galactic Republic ships. Ahsoka Tano, C-3PO, General Kenobi, Padme, Shaak Ti, all 17,700, which is different from the Malik event. We'll also be talking about that. Tier 3, all units need are temporarily given to you, so I'm pretty curious to see what that battle is going to be. It's a familiar foe, so makes me think maybe Count Dooku with some kind of droids or something. I don't know. I'm curious to see who it's going to be. Asajj Ventress, B1 Battle Droid, B2 Battle Droid, Super Battle Droid Droideka, and IG Magna Guard. So those are kind of your requirements, but here's just kind of my personal thoughts. So I kind of think, and these are very, very what I would call crazy requirements, and here's the reason why. There are 10 characters and 5 ships, so including 5 additional characters that you have to not necessarily level up, but for instance, if you have General Kenobi, then it's one less ship you kind of have to level up. Well, what I'm trying to say is that it's not an extra character you have to level up in order to get the ship, but technically it would be 15 characters and 5 ships depending on who's being used. 5s obviously isn't a part of this event, but you would want his Starfighter, and so that's going to be an extra character you're probably going to get pretty high up there. So I look at these requirements, and it's a lot, and whether that's good or bad, depending on how good General Skywalker is. I mean, we've seen how good Malik is, and he needs 10 characters, 2 journey characters, and 8 regular characters, and so I have no idea how good he's going to be. I have some thoughts, and we'll talk about that here in a second. Alright, next kind of thing I wanted to hit on, the 17,700. So when we went to the Malik event, we saw that the requirements were 17,500 so per character. So if you look at someone like Canderous, he's 17,697, so he's literally 3 off. So probably if I hit a mod or something, I could get him past the threshold. But if you see, he's Gear 12, Gear 12 plus actually, not full, but it's got 2 pieces. Same with Zalbar. I'm guessing I'm going the complete opposite way. There we go. 17,500, so barely hitting that mark. 2 gear 12 pieces, no Zeta. And then looking at mission, so she's 18,381, but she's gear 11 and 1 Zeta. So some kinds of things that you'll want to think about is, how do I need to get to this 17,700 threshold? Well, there's probably a few ways you can do it. Would probably be the gear 12 plus, depending on the character. I'll have some kind of deeper thoughts on the upgrading and stuff, but some stuff to think about. That, you know, it's going to be somewhere around the range. It's going to be a gear 11 plus a Zeta, or some gear 12 plus, but it depends on who it is and how far you want to take them. So, another thought, a little bit of a concern is there was a comment by GC, and you know, usually how you'll have an event and they'll say this is extremely difficult or something, they'll kind of use a phrase like that. Their phrasing for this event was unbelievably hard. So I'm concerned about that. If you guys have seen me play the C-3PO event and the Bounty Hunter or Chewbacca event, I was hitting my head against the wall and for days on end. So I cannot imagine the frustration this event is going to bring out in me as well as other players. Alright, so here are some good things to consider about leveling up all these things. Okay, so Anakin Starfighter, one of the best Republic ships out there. It's well worth putting a lot of effort into Anakin himself because he's a good character. Very, very good character, especially when he's gear 13 plus some relics. The Galactic Republic ship, which would be the Endurance, currently, you know, not so hot. But when we look at the upcoming ship that people have just started unlocking, and other people start unlocking, is the Negotiator. So it's well worth probably building up some Republic ships, because by the time you probably get them to the requirements, you'll be, or maybe you already have, maybe you'll be really close to having the Negotiator out. So a lot of good synergy you'll have, so it's not like a waste. You know, there's a few characters from, like, for instance, the CLS event, or Revens, either Revens, and you know, there's from a character or two that you probably just be like, I don't really care to use them. Like for me, it was Johanny and T3. Don't really care much about them. Don't care to use them. But when you look further down, kind of going to tier 2, I mean, if you look at all of these characters, these are all really good characters that contribute to some high quality team. Like Ahsoka Tano, she's really good under a Padme lead or a Shakti lead with the 501st clones. C-3PO, I mean, he can go anywhere. He's a raid god. He can go on CLS, Jedi Training Rey, Padme Amidala. I mean, he can go anywhere. General Kenobi, once again, good under a Padme team or a Jedi Knight Revan. Padme, very good leader. She really binds a lot of those Galactic Republic people. And then Shakti, she's really good leader for the clones currently, the 501st clones. I imagine after General Skywalker comes out, she probably won't have as much use. But in the meantime, these are all characters that are well worth considering upgrading and leveling up. So it's nothing to really freak out about. Tier 3, not to worry about that. All these droids as well. So excluding Sod's Venture, she's really good as a lead for Night Sisters. I imagine she'll probably get a rework, considering she doesn't have a lot of Separatist synergy. So she'd be well worth upgrading and leveling up, all that good stuff. And all these droids right here, they go good under a new team or General Grievous team. All really, really solid characters. So I don't see at the end, it's not like, hey, you know, I upgraded all these characters and now I'm never going to use them again. That's not true one bit. You'll be using them for especially Grand Arena Championships and TB and Territory Wars. So, all right. So going into the next part, kind of some concerns, and this is probably what's on everybody's minds. But Um, for this event, because it's branded as extremely hard, or unbelievably hard, I believe is the term, yeah. Unbelievably hard. Um, though the requirements say 17,700, so in your mind, you can do the math. It's usually gear 11, probably gear 11 plus with a Zeta, depending on, and the amount of abilities you put into a character and the mods also contribute to that, but or gear 12 plus. I'm afraid that the bare minimum won't be enough to do this event. I believe I'm concerned that it's going to have to be gear 13 plus relics. I don't know if that's true, but I'm thinking that's what it's going to end up having to be. So now kind of going back to what I said earlier, but it won't be so bad. I think most of the characters would be worth gear 13ing. Probably besides C-3PO, I don't see a reason to do someone like him to gear 13, or maybe some of the Separatist droids, but like Magna Guard. But I'm afraid that's probably what's going to have to be required of us. And then the next thing is going back to the ships. So I'll pull up the ships real quick. Should have had it pulled up already, but I wasn't thinking. My concern is between these two ships. So though the Endurance technically can be used, because it is a Republic capital ship, I'm afraid, I could be wrong, but I'm afraid it's going to be hard to the point where you're going to need the Negotiator. Now, the reason I kind of sort of want to backtrack on that a little bit is because if you think about it, the event comes out in 3 days. Nobody has a 7-star endurance. Nobody. So my thought is that they're going to want people to have the endurance, 7 stars. I don't know what you do with Mace. Gear 13. I don't know. Gear 13, Gear 12, maybe Gear 11. I don't know. But you'll have to have Mace Windu 7 stars upgraded. Max out abilities probably. And that would be, maybe there will be a rewear. I doubt it, but that's concerning. That I think the Negotiator is probably going to be more. Hopefully, it's just the more desirable ship, and it makes the event easier. But I hope it's not required. But like I was saying, maybe it would be pointless to do an event where nobody's going to unlock them first time. I don't know. So, all right, guys. So going into some tips. So some tips if you're kind of a bare minimalist, meaning that you just kind of want to do things the bare minimum to get there, consider Gear 11 plus a Zeta on some of these characters, or Gear 12 plus without the Zeta. Maybe you don't think the Zetas are worth on someone like General Kenobi. But consider getting them to the bare minimum. But if you want to make this event easier, I've learned the hard way. It's just easier to go all out to make a legendary character or something of the sort easier to do. Just go all out, do mostly Gear 13, Gear 12 plus Zetas. Maybe you can throw a relic on those Gear, 1 or 2 relics on the Gear 13s. Max out your ships, build up the endurance. Maybe it won't matter, I don't know. But consider building up the endurance, consider Gear 11 Mace just to get at least some use out of this capital ship. But be prepared for the idea that you may have to use, the Negotiator. We'll see what happens. Alright, and my last consideration to you guys is have these 501st characters max out. Gear 13 plus some Relic Zetas. If you're chasing this, consider this. If you're like me, and it's probably going to be another 8 months before you get to this point. I don't know, maybe it won't take you that long, but I have a feeling it'll be that long. But if it takes you, maybe you're on this trail right now, just consider having a team to get ready for General Skywalker. Considering the last team you're going to have to fight is General Skywalker with the 501st clones. There might be an additional clone, so at least have the clones ready. You'll obviously need Ahsoka ready. But maybe you just want to stick for Gear 12 with a Zeta. But consider these guys, they're Gear 13s plus some relics and Zetas just to get them ready for General Skywalker. So, But other than that, guys, that's really all I have for you. I'm super excited just to see what it's going to be like. I'm excited that they're kind of expanding the box a little instead of, 2 phases through this epic encounter. It's 4 now, and they integrated ships and whole list of characters. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm nervous at the same time because I'm afraid of the requirements, not just the in-game requirements that are spoken, but the unspoken requirements that who knows if it's really going to be just the bare minimum. I'm afraid it won't be. So, but yeah, guys, that's all I have for you. Good luck to all of you who are going to be doing this. I won't be, but I'll be watching and learning and seeing what I need to do and how to focus on after I get my current teams, my current teams done. So until next time, guys.